This video will help you import bank statements and match the imported bank transactions with transactions in Kanak Books. Select the Banking option from the drawer to move to the overview screen. Select a bank account from the list given below. Click the Bank Statements tab to view the transactions from imported bank statements. The Kanak Books tab shows transactions in the application. Click the Import Statement button to move to the import screen. Select the bank type to the name of the bank which your statement belongs to. We are importing a statement from the State Bank of India. Click the Choose button to choose the file for import. Click the Import Bank Statements button to import the statements. The result of the import is displayed below. Now, let's go back to the Bank Statements tab of the bank to view the imported transactions from the statement. By default, the imported transactions are in an uncategorized state. The details of the transactions are listed in the table. Click on a transaction to open it for categorization or matching. If the selected bank transaction has an exact match available in Kanak Books, the details of the matching transaction will be listed below, Best Matches. Here there is one best matching transaction available. If you go to the Kanak Books Transactions tab, you will be able to view more details of the matching transaction. Let's select the banking transaction again and match it with the one in Kanak Books. Click on the match icon in the box to match the transaction. Click on the filter icon in the tab and select Matched option to filter the banking transaction by matched status. You will be able to find the recently matched transaction there. You can also see the change in status in Kanak Books transactions. Open the transaction and click the Unmatch button to unmatch the selected transaction with banking transaction. Let's match the banking transaction once again. Open another transaction from the Banking tab. If there are no transactions available in Kanak Books that match with the selected bank transaction, then the Categorize Manually tab will be selected by default. If you click on Match Transactions tab, you will be able to see that there are no matches available. Let's categorize this transaction manually. Select the category. Fill in the mandatory fields. The description field will be pre-filled with the details of the bank transaction. Click the Save button to categorize the transaction. Apply Categorized filter to view the categorized transaction. Open the categorized Kanak Books transaction for viewing. Click Uncategorize button and confirm the dialog to uncategorize the transaction. Let's go back and categorize a transaction that already has a best matching transaction available in Kanak Books. To demonstrate the working of possible matches, let's create a few outgoing transactions in Kanak Books. Now that we have added a few outgoing transactions, let's select a debit transaction from the Banking tab. Below the Best Match box, you will be able to find the possible matches. These are transactions in Kanak Books that possibly match with the selected banking transaction. These are not exact matches, as the dates or amounts could be different. Try selecting another transaction from the list for matching. To select all the matching transactions, click the Select All button. The pending amount is shown at the bottom in yellow color, which is calculated by subtracting the amounts of selected possible matches from the bank transaction. Click on the tick icon against the transaction to select the transaction individually. Use the minus icon to remove selection. The pending amount needs to be 0 to successfully match the transaction. When the Match button is enabled, click on it to match the transactions. You can see the change in status for the transactions in the Kanak Books tab. Let's edit a transaction to decrease the amount. Now open a transaction from the Banking tab for matching. Select a transaction from the possible matches list. When there is no transaction available in the list to match the pending amount, click on the New Transaction link to add a new transaction for the pending amount. For debit transactions, an expense transaction can be added in Kanak Books by filling in the details in the dialog. On saving the transaction, the possible matches list will be updated with the newly added expense. Click on the Match button to match the transactions.